Hello everyone, it is time once again to test some hot new makeup. Today I'm going to show you how I go from this to this using a full face of some of the hottest, most hyped up new makeup releases. Boy, do I have a lot of really great products to try and a really wide variety of price points. I recently took a poll over on Instagram asking if people would rather have me test out today the new Elf foundation, which is the Soft Glam Satin Foundation, or the new Fenty Soft Lit Naturally Luminous Foundation. And it was like a 60-40 split. The majority did want to see the Elf. So I will be testing this. I also picked up one of the new Haus Labs blushes. I've got a couple other new products from Elf. Their Lock It Down eyeshadow primer, and then this brow laminating gel. And then what I'm most excited to try for the first time is this Natasha Denona Golden palette. It is so beautiful. It's just absolutely stunning. And I'll also be testing a new-ish concealer and a new liquid bronzer. So let's get started. I have already applied my moisturizer. The shade I purchased in this Elf foundation is Light Neutral. I'm a little bit nervous that this is going to be too light because I did see another content creator over on TikTok use this shade and it looked really light on her, so we'll see. This foundation is described as having medium buildable coverage with a satin finish. Now, for those of you that might be new to my channel, I do have oily skin and I typically like a foundation that is more matte because my natural oils will start coming through within like a half an hour. The first thing I'll say is that I do like this packaging. I really like foundation in this type of packaging. I also, like a foundation in a glass bottle and a pump, but for traveling or just, tossing in a makeup bag, this type of packaging is fine by me. Actually, it doesn't look that light. So I put a little bit on the back of my hand, although it might look like a lot to some people. We'll see. Yeah, actually, I don't think this is going to be too light. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just kind of stippling it on. And you know what? It's not too light at all. It's actually pretty perfect. Yay. And the finish is definitely satin. And the coverage is definitely medium. By the way, the reason why I did not use a primer underneath this is because I like to see how foundations work without one. And like usual, at the end of the video, I will have a caption on the screen letting you know how the entire look held up throughout the day. So I'm looking really closely and I'm impressed. I could use a little bit more coverage in this area, but let's continue. Okay, definitely needed a little bit less, and I did put a little bit less on this side. The first time you use a foundation, you do sort of have to play around with the amount to see, how spreadable it is, how quickly it dries. This one does not dry super quickly. You can still sort of feel it a little bit. I know a lot of people find that if a foundation dries down too quickly, they're not able to blend it out as easily. This looks really nice. Now, what remains to be seen is how it lasts on my skin. Before I do anything else, I don't want to forget to apply eyeshadow primer. And for those of you who've seen any of my hooded eye masterclasses or tutorials, I'm always talking about how I need to use an eyeshadow primer. It's simply a must. I don't care if the eyeshadows are from Wet n Wild or Elf or Natasha Denona. I will always use an eyeshadow primer. Ah! Just dropped that on my robe. My favorite robe. All right, so this is a very thin consistency, almost like watery. My current favorite, well, I have two favorite eyeshadow primers. One is the NARS Pro Prime, and the other is the P. Louise. I typically don't Yeah, I don't like these real kind of greasy feeling eyeshadow primers. But back to why I feel like they're a necessity, especially for hooded lids. Because as you can see with the hooded lid, the lid is resting almost, you know, right on the lash line. So you do often get quite a lot of transfer from whatever is on the lash line or even mascara right here on the lid. So an eyeshadow primer really helps to prevent that. It helps to prevent creasing. It makes your eyeshadows look more bold. And what I really like about the two eyeshadow primers I just mentioned, the NARS and the P. Louise, is, well, first of all, I purchased the NARS in a tinted shade. And what's great about it having that tint is that it helps to neutralize the discoloration on the lid. This one does not. It's dried down. We'll see. But let's move on to concealer. I will always let you know if a product has been sent to me, and Say Beauty did send over, actually a couple of weeks ago, maybe last month even, their new Slip Tint Radiant All Over Concealer. And I will be completely honest with you. The reason why I haven't tried it yet is because I had heard such mixed reviews on it. It seems that people really like it for the face, but not so much for the under eyes, especially the mature skinned content creators I've seen talk about this concealer. They didn't make it sound great, so I have been holding off on testing this. They sent me shades 3 and 5. I'm gonna go with shade 5 because I don't like my concealer to be too light. And let me tell you a little bit about this concealer. It says that it undetectably conceals imperfections from redness to dark circles and wears for up to 12 hours. Its lightweight cream formula melts into the skin for the freshest, most natural, radiant finish. It's powered by science, supercharged with soothing niacinamide, hydrating hyaluronic acid, and plumping plant-derived glycerin. I do like the packaging, and I always start by applying it on this part of my nose. And I always get an indentation from my glasses. So I'm putting it just right here. The last thing you want to do is apply too much concealer. And now I'm just taking a brush. This is a BK Beauty A506. Why don't I know this by now? I use this brush all the time. It looks nice. You know what? I am going to take a little bit over my lid as well to neutralize that tone. I kind of like it. But then again, I've had it on for what, 15 seconds? So I suppose what I should say is that already I am liking the consistency. I'm liking the color. This number 5 works beautifully. I think maybe the reason why some people don't love this one for the under eyes is because it does not seem to have a lot of coverage. I mean, it has coverage, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be very impressed with it. But yeah, I can see somebody who has darker circles than me. I can see how it might not cover really dark circles, but it's working well for me. Of course, I haven't flipped the mirror around. I'm gonna take a sponge and just sort of blend everything out. I haven't turned the mirror around, the magnifying mirror, to see how it looks up close yet. I'll do that in 1 second. Yeah, I think I was wrong. I think I do need a little bit more coverage because you can still see up close, you can still see, you know, a lot of that inner corner darkness. I don't know, I'm just not loving it. Okay, but before I do powder, I am going to use the new Say Beauty, which was not sent to me. I bought this at Sephora. The Dew Bronze Soft Focus Liquid Bronzer. And I purchased the shade Sand. Oh, I did not expect it to have a big doe foot applicator. And it did come out kind of clumpy. So I'm going to put some right here. I'm going to start with 2 dots. And my favorite IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. And we're going to blend that out. Now, I have recently spoken about my love for the Physicians Formula liquid contour and bronzer. And the only reason why I bought this was to do this video because I really, really do like that one so much. This is nice, but it's not I don't feel like it's any better than the Physicians Formula. I do like this color though. It's very neutral. But it's also very sheer, so I feel like I have to use a little bit more to get the kind of bronzy look that I want. And you know, now that this foundation has sat for a few minutes, I do feel like it oxidized a little bit. It actually went darker. Maybe it's just me that's seeing it. All right, so far with this, I like it. I think it's nice. But as of right now, I can't see myself reaching for this over the Physicians Formula. There's just something so easy about the application of the Physicians Formula. If you noticed, I did have to go in a couple of times to kind of build up the product. If you like a more sheer bronzer, then you're going to love this. More so probably than the Physicians Formula, because the Physicians Formula is darker and more pigmented. Okay, I'm all right with this. I'm not in love, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, I do not have a new powder, so I am going to use my current favorite, Jason Wu matte powder. And obviously, if you don't have oily skin like I do, you are not going to want to use a truly matte powder. But I am still, even at age 51, super duper oily. I know the people with dry skin watching right now are mortified, but honestly, if you have oily skin, a good powder is a must. And I already feel like this looks 10 times better than it did. Now this is not a new product, at least I don't think it is, but it's new to me, and I did just talk about it in my monthly favorites, my May favorites. It's the Kosas Beachy Sun Show Bronzer. Actually, it's called Sun Show Bronzer. I just use the shade Beachy. This is a glowy bronzer, which I don't typically love just because my skin is textured, but I like this one. I don't find that it emphasizes the texture. I think it's really pretty. I like a little bit more of a glowy look for summer. I think a lot of us do. All right, so now I'm going to fill in my brows off camera just with a brow pencil. And then we'll take a look at this brow laminating product from Elf. It looks like it's supposed to be a dupe for the Frye brow lamination. Now it says here you're actually supposed to apply this on clean, dry brows. Brush back and forth to fully cover. Usually I do this after. I use a brow laminating product after because, you know, I need color in my brows. I can't leave them like this. A lot of times trying to apply a brow product after you've used one of these products doesn't always go so well, but we'll try it. So it says to brush back and forth. And truth be told, I don't really like the Frye one either. My current favorite is the L'Oreal brow lamination. What is this even doing? Not much. Okay, maybe I need a little bit more. Maybe I should have done it the way I wanted to do it. Okay, this side is going a little bit better as far as fluffing up the brows. All right, so now it says to brush them up. Okay, that's working. Now I can see where I need to tweeze. So here's what we're looking like. I'm going to give this a couple minutes to set, meaning the brow pomade, before I attempt to fill in with a pencil. The pencil went on fine over the Elf brow lamination, but I think I prefer to do it my way, where I fill in the brows first and then go over it with a setting product or laminator. Have I mentioned yet how excited I am to use this palette? I love the packaging, but wow, the fingerprints that are on this already. Let's peel off the mirror cover. All right, now what look do I want to do? Let's start off with the basics. I'm going to apply Meliko, M-L-I-K-O. I'm going to apply that with a flat brush right underneath the arch of my brow. When I don't know what makeup look I want to do, this is how I always start. With a little under the arch of the brow lightening. And then I'm going to take a brand new Rephr number 1 brush, and I'm going to use the shade Teak. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to start in the outer corner and then blending it into my crease. As usual, as expected, the eyeshadow is very pigmented, very blendable. So as you can see, I'm making like little swirls in the outer corner and then brushing it inwards. And I'm doing this with my eyes open because, again, hooded eyes, you want to be looking in the mirror so you can see where that transition or crease shade should be. And I have actually not given up on transition shades, but I'm doing things a little bit differently now. As you can see, I just took a darker color, whereas normally I would have started off with one of these two shades as a transition shade. But instead, I start off now with the dark color, apply that again to the outer corner. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I want people to learn as they watch my videos, not just watch. I want you to learn as well. That's why I'm here. So then what I do is I take a fluffy brush on one of these lighter shades. I'm going to use Hannah, and then I blend out with that. So instead of starting with that transition shade, I'm doing that as my second step. Actually, that wasn't my second step. That was my third step, because I put the ivory under the brow. And now I'm using a Rephr 03 brush, one of my favorite little pencil brushes. I'm going back into Teak and running that along my lower lash lines. Now using my finger, I'm going into the shade Nubia. Ooh, that's nice and creamy. And I'm going to press that onto my mobile lid. Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorge. Wowza. Oh my goodness, this is one of the most stunning shades I've ever used. In my tear ducts, I'm going to apply the shade Aura. I personally like a nice bright tear duct. I am feeling like my under eyes, again through here, not covered enough. Next, I'm using one of my favorite little eyeliner brushes from Rephr. It's the 29 brush, and I'm going to use the shade Fog, which is the darkest brown. Not Fog, Log. And I'm going to use that to line my upper lash lines. I love this brush because it is so tiny and gets right at the root of my lashes. And as you can see, I just made a slight little baby wing. And then I'm also taking a little bit and running it just on the outer corner of my lower lash lines, right at the lash line, right underneath those lashes. Something a lot of you know I like to do is to take a little bit of concealer. If I'm not using tape as my guide, I do like to take some concealer and clean up under the little wing that I've made and kind of angle it up towards my temples. Now I kind of want to use more shades from the palette, but I really like the way this looks. Should I? Dare I? All right, let's take a little Fizzy, this little shimmer in the corner, and put that right there, just for a little extra sparkle. Made it pop even just a little bit more. So pretty. You know what, let's put a little fizz in the tear ducts. Why not? All right, since I do not have a new mascara to test out today, I am going to curl my lashes and apply mascara off camera, come back, and we will test out the Haus Labs blush. All right, before we move on to blush, I do want to let you know that I did apply, where did it go? This Milani eyeliner pencil in brown to my upper and lower waterlines. And then I did add on 2 little individual lashes on the ends of my eyes, and this glue needs to dry a little bit. There was a little bit of fallout from the eyeshadow, but I don't care. I am obsessed with this look. I know, I'm sorry I used the word obsessed, but I mean, it's so pretty. All right, what shade did I buy in the Haus Labs? Glassy Rosette. This is called a Glassy Blush. Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm. It has very good ratings on Sephora so far. It says that it is a serum-based high pigment blush with more than 70% skincare and proprietary complexes that hydrate and make skin look plumper, all in a long-wearing glassy balm. It contains fermented arnica to visibly reduce redness and irritation, goji berry complex to boost radiance, promotes collagen synthesis and antioxidant protection. The product is vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. Applied onto skin. Blend away any harsh lines using your fingers or the Haus Labs dual-ended brush, which I don't have. So, apparently they want you to just swipe it on and blend it out. I'm gonna put a little swipe here. Ooh, that is glassy. Pretty. Very pretty. Yeah, this is going to be a good one for drier, mature skin because, as you can see, it definitely gave a little bit of a glow. That glassiness is really nice, because it does not appear to be emphasizing any texture on my skin. It seems to be playing nicely with the foundation underneath. I'm gonna add just a little bit more right here. I really like this color too. Glassy Rosette. And I'm kind of just patting that all over. Really nice. I could definitely see myself using this on my cheeks and my lips. I do have another lip product I want to try though for my lips, but yeah, I think this looks nice. I do have this new product from Benefit though. It's called Do La La. It is a all-over weightless liquid glow. And they sent me the shade Luna. So why not? Let's try it. So I'm going to put a little bit on my fingertip and just pat it on. Ooh. That's very pretty too. Look at that. Ooh la la. I like this. I'm gonna put a little bit there. What a nice little highlighter. I am looking very dewy and glowy, but not shiny yet. Okay, it's time for lips. What do I have for you for lips? Well, Buxom sent over this box and said that I am going to have the juiciest lips ever with their new full-on plumping lip glow balm. Ready to make them melt. We can't wait for you to be the first to try the new Buxom full-on plumping lip glow balm. Tingly, plout pumping power, a flirty hint of color, melting hydration. It's the glowy new balm to beat all balms. Let's see, which one do I want to use? I'm feeling like raspberry glaze might be good for this look. I don't have a new lip liner, so just because I have it sitting right here, I'm going to use this Milani lip liner in Spice. It's one of those lip liners that seems to go with everything. I mean, I might be wrong when I apply the lip product, but who knows. So this is the packaging, a cute pink. I do like the sort of angled teardrop shape. And it's definitely going on like a glossy balm. Very comfy. I like how it kind of molds to the lip. This shape is very similar to the Armani Lip Power lipsticks that I love. I just really enjoy how they go right up to that Cupid's bow and then just sort of fit the lip perfectly. I like this. All right, we are done. This is the finished look. So all of the products that I used in this video and their shade names, as well as the brushes, the brush numbers, will be listed and linked down below in the description box of this video. And I will also tag them through YouTube Shopping if they are available through YouTube Shopping. Not every product is. So let's go through everything. The Elf Soft Glam Satin Foundation. So far, so good. I mean, I don't love it because I personally, as someone with oily skin, do prefer more of a matte finish for all of the reasons why I stated during the application. But as of now, I feel like it looks really nice. As I mentioned, it did seem to oxidize a little bit, so keep that in mind when choosing your shade. I have a feeling that people with normal, combination, or dry skin are going to love this. As of right now, if I were going to give this a star rating on Ulta, I would probably give it 4 stars. I'll update you in a caption on the screen right here if I change that rating by the end of the day. Now the Say bronzer. It's okay. I'm not wowed by it. I think that there are other liquid bronzers out there that are just as good, if not better. And it's not that I think this is a bad product. I'm just not wowed by it. I thought it went on very, very sheer. So it may be that I just need a darker color for my personal preference. But if you have fair skin, this tone was really, really nice and neutral, which is kind of hard to find. So there are pros and cons to it. I just can't see myself reaching for it over the other ones I have. Same thing with the concealer. As I think I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, I noticed while reading reviews or listening to reviews that people really liked this as a concealer for their skin. I haven't heard nearly as much praise for it as an under eye concealer. And I liked it better. I like everything better after I powdered because powder just gives you that kind of filtered look. And this is decent coverage, but if I use this again, I'm probably going to put a corrector on underneath. The e.l.f. brow lamination and the eyeshadow base. Meh. There's better out there, even at the drugstore. Although I can't really say yet if I think that this eyeshadow base actually works. What I don't like about it is just the feel. And I do prefer an eyeshadow base that evens out the skin tone on the lid because I do find, as you saw during the demo, if I go over an eyeshadow base with a little bit of my concealer, I feel like that can sometimes be a little bit too heavy and can end up making my eyes look a little dry, even with shadow. So I'll try to update you on these, but as of right now, I think they're both a pass. The Haus Labs Glassy Balm Blush. This is a really, really nice product. In fact, I'm gonna add a little bit more because I am a blush-aholic. I'm hearing a lot of praise for the shade Glassy Hibiscus online, so I might try that one next. This is really, really pretty. And I'm loving the combo of this and the Benefit Du La La. Really pretty. Oh, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. The Natasha Denona Golden Palette might be my new favorite Natasha Denona palette. The only thing I will say, the only warning I will give about this palette is I do feel like it might not be the best option for someone with a deeper skin tone. I just have a feeling that some of these shades, these kind of neutral browns, are going to look very similar on a deep or dark skin tone. I have a suspicion that the bronze palette might be the better option for someone with a deeper skin tone. But for light, medium skin tones, this is definitely worth picking up, in my humble opinion. the Buxom Plumping Glow Balm. I forgot to mention that after about 30 seconds, I did begin to feel a little bit of a tingling, but nowhere near the tingling I get with the Buxom lip glosses. As I mentioned, I love the shape. The color I tried, the strawberry color, is super pretty. I did find that it kind of disappeared pretty quickly because, as you saw, I applied it here. Then I went into the bathroom and curled my hair. And by the time I came back and sat down to film this part, I felt like the color had disappeared a little bit. And it had only been about 20 minutes in between. But to be honest with you, this is the type of product that I don't mind reapplying. I just have to be careful not to leave it in my car in this Las Vegas weather. The first thing I do when I get a PR package these days is I put it in the refrigerator. Well, first I open it up to see what it is. And if it's any sort of liquid or like lipstick, just pretty much anything that's not a powder, I will put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours because I know if I go to like twist it up or something, it's gonna be melted and fall right out. So yeah, ordering makeup when you live in Las Vegas or Arizona or anywhere that it gets really, really hot is tricky. All right, that'll do it for this month's testing of some of the hottest new makeup releases. If you did enjoy this video, I really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the Risa Does Makeup family. I do upload new content at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.